Okay, and we're back with One Piece chapter 1039. This week, One Piece was on the cover of Shonen Jump. It got the whole cover, and it also got a full color page, both of which straight bangers. But the chapter name is The Main Event or The Main Attraction. And it starts off how most chapters have been starting off lately, with Momonosuke dealing with Onigashima about to fall onto Wano and kill everybody. We see that he's getting it farther and farther away with his fire clouds, but then he gets his attention drawn away from something calling for him, i.e. Zunesha, because Zunesha is working for the Kozuki clan, or not working for, has a connection to the Kozuki clan. So Zunesha might be able to talk to Momonosuke. Momonosuke might be able to talk to Zunesha. That'll be interesting to see whenever it happens. Then we go to the live floor, where I believe the rest of this chapter really takes place, other than some cutaways. It's Big Mom versus Law and Kid. And we see that everyone is picking sides, as you would expect. The Beast Pirates are being like, oh no, they couldn't have beaten her. While the Kid Pirates are being, woo, yeah! And the Heart Pirates are being, woo, yeah! So that's what they're doing. Exactly like that, too. And Law makes an interesting comment. Hey, Eustace, that's twice now. You wait for me to use my finisher, then you swoop in with a flashy move to take the credit for yourself. I'm not your opening act. Which in the early, I guess, leaks, was translated as, I'm not your fucking support artist. Which I really liked. It just shows how vulgar Law is. That's just my personal thing. And the Kid just says, who cares? Let it go. A very reasonable thing. We're fighting an Emperor of the Sea. Let it go. And then we see that not only did Kid's Cornadio move actually hurt Big Mom, it broke her hand, or I should say her wrist, and her ribs. And she makes a comment, though Trafalgar's technique is dangerous, I'll have to exchange some life to bring you bones back. She can heal herself. Big Mom can heal herself. I don't think this is a thing we're talking about enough. She can heal herself. Just straight up heal herself. Not like it comes into play later. Because if this is the final chapter, it's not in play. So she heals herself. And we get a comment from Law. In all seriousness, I need to tell you something. I'll be out of strength after this next round. This next attack will be my last. I can't afford to let it miss. You'll have to, and then the Kid interrupts him, telling him to stop giving me orders like his thing has been this entire time. And then we see Big Mom use Master Saber to cut the bull in half. Which technically I would think is useless against Kid, because he can just kind of magnetize it back together. But she goes in for another attack, and so does Kid. And she says, I've sent hundreds of you to a watery grave. We've ruled for decades now, since the time you two were still drinking your mother's milk. And Kid uses a sign, and he puts a south pole on Big Mom's face, and a north on a piece of rubble to attract the two. Basically to lock her in place, while he gets another Cornadio move ready. And he goes to blast Big Mom with it, but she dodges it. And I do believe this is the first first attack in general, we've seen Big Mom actually avoid. Not just, tank, avoid. She is avoiding this one. Meaning that all this damage is slowly building up. And then we get to see another move from Big Mom called Mother's Homing Cannon Misery. And she makes, I guess, a Magma Man, Magma Woman, Magma Mom. And she goes to attack Kid, but Law uses tact to try to drop a building on Big Mom. It looks like it has basically no effect on Big Mom because she is very strong, but she does get hit by it, so it's more of like a stun attack. And Law uses Kroom again, and we get a comment from Big Mom. Not this again, Trafalgar. Meaning that this is actually kind of scaring her, which is really interesting. And then we get to see just what happens. Law stabs Big Mom in the chest, and the sword goes through the basement where Yamato sees it, and down into Onigashima. And Law makes the comment, it's got to be deeper. And then he uses Puncture Willy, which I'm going to guess is like Puncture Shock. And not only does it blow a hole in the ground, where Mononosuke makes a comment, what happened? It's strong enough to make Big Mom cough up blood in a comically expressive face. And it is hilarious to me. And then Law tells Eustace to do it, or just do something, now. And Kid says, how many times do I have to say it, Trafalgar? Don't tell me what to do. And then we get to see that he uses Damned Punk, which is a blast attack. Not just a blast attack. He makes a big-ass gun and just unloads on Big Mom. That sounded really bad. He just straight shoots Big Mom with this thing. And we see lightning coming around it. It's white lightning, so it's not Conqueror's Hockey. It might just be magnetism energy. But that's just something that I wanted to comment on, the fact that there is electricity around it. In my color, I decided to color it red, more so for Kid being Kid. And then I give it a border. It's a black border. It kind of looks like Conqueror's Hockey now I'm thinking about it. But in my personal color, I gave it black lightning or red lightning with black borders. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's Conqueror's Hockey. And we get Big Mom with another egotistical dialogue. You think you can take me down? Give it your best shot. I am Big Mom. And then she gets hit by the damned punk move, which is technically an electromagnetic cannon, meaning that this thing has a lot of force behind it. And then, to end the chapter out, we get Law saying, your era is over, with the subtext dragging the emperors off their thrones. And I talked about it, I want to say 2 chapters ago, 1 chapter ago, a little bit ago. I believe that now that we're coming off of, this is technically, if this is the end of the fight, it is a Yonko going down in combat, not just combat, a full-fledged fight where the odds were in their favor and they still lost. This was a Yonko's turf, not necessarily the Yonko in question, but still Yonko turf, against 2 of the worst generation, probably in some of the best conditions Big Mom could have asked for a fight, being supported by all of Kaido's fighters, not just the big boys, the Flying Six, just all of Kaido's troops in general, which doesn't really mean a lot to the Supernovas, but still. And Law and Kid are both severely injured, are both severely tired because of their awakenings. They are not in the best condition, but this is just really showing that if Big Mom is going down now, any other fight that we cut to and we see the result of is not going to have the same impact as a Yonko going down. Maybe Yamato versus Kazunbo in the basement, I would think would be the only fight that we actually are worried about at this point. As much as I joke about it, Raizo versus Fukurokujo is not a big fight that we have to know the outcome of. If Raizo dies, but Fukurokujo also dies in it, that's what Raizo's character needs. That's what all the scabbards need, is to be able to die to support Odin. To die as his protectors, or his retainers as they're known. So Raizo dying wouldn't really screw with anything. If he can take out Fukurokuju to avoid him saving Orochi, that's what he needs to do. If he survives and Fukurokuju also survived but is taken out of commission, he did what he needs to do. He took out a big member of the fight. But that's not a fight that we're necessarily worried about. We need to keep the momentum riding from the Big Mom knockout directly into Kaido. We can't have any cutaways. We might have we can't have any cutaway fights. We might be able to resolve some issues that we brought up a few chapters ago in throwaway panels or one-page things, but we cannot pull focus longer than maybe one half a chapter. I wouldn't say half a chapter. Half a chapter is about as long as I would say we can cut focus off of Kaido and Luffy, or any big fight. There might be one I'm forgetting, but we need to focus on another Yonko going down. So unless it's a big shakeup that we have not yet been introduced to in the series, or story I should say, or a reintroduction that we need from earlier in the story, like if Arlong were to show up, I doubt he ever would, but if Arlong showed up, that would be a big thing that we need to cut away for. But anything that isn't groundbreakingly important, like Zoro actually dying, I don't think we necessarily need to cut away for more than half a chapter. We should keep the focus on Luffy and Kaido if Big Mom is down. Last week I brought up the opinion that this might not end up being how we think it's gonna go. Big Mom might not go down from this. Kid and Law are both on their last legs. Law says it himself. This is his last attack. He is putting everything he has into it, and he is counting on Kid to finish Big Mom off. He can't do it himself. Even if he looks like he is very, very confident in their win, does not necessarily mean it. But that doesn't necessarily mean that Law and Kid will win. Big Mom might be able to eat the damage because we saw her be able to heal herself. I don't know if we've seen that before, but she can use her soul powers to bring her bones back and fix them. She might be able to not shrug off the damage, but she might be able to still keep going after this, meaning that we might see Kid and Law lose, but also Big Mom lose. I don't know exactly how it would go. Like I said last week, Law and Kid could eat it right here, drop down, not dead, unconscious. Big Mom goes off to fight, like she thinks that she can do it, either on her way up to the roof, or before she can do anything, she gets put in her place, and just passes out. Maybe she just passes out after the fight. We've seen that multiple times. Like with Zoro, he kind of just stopped moving after his fight with King. He was tired, he was injured, whatever. It wouldn't be out of the realm of possibilities for Big Mom to actually die from Damned Blast, or whatever it was called. I don't have the chapter up anymore. The last attack, it would not be impossible for Big Mom to drop from that. It was a big attack, also partnered with a blast that actually opened a crater in Wano. Let's not forget the fact, Law just made a sword go from all the way up to Onigashima on, like, the live floor, which I believe is the second highest floor other than the roof, all the way down Onigashima, all the way through the sky, into Wano itself, stick into Wano deep enough to create a crater when he sends a blast through his sword that makes the crater and also hits Big Mom with the full impact. If Onigashima does not fall apart at the end of this arc, I would be very surprised. If it does, it's gonna be weird to see how everyone deals with it, but if this arc doesn't end with, like, the island falling to the ground safely, with everyone on Onigashima okay, and just the entire actual island collapsing, spreading everyone around, the residents of Wano rush in to see what's up, they save our heroes, they put the Beast Pirates, Big Mom, and Kaido away in, like, a prison, or if the world government is coming, they're world government ships, not marine ships, so they might not be able to take them. Then world government shows up, just tries to flex, be like, okay, we're annexing Wano now. And then Momonosuke shows up, he's like, hey, no, you're not doing that. this is my country now. I'm the Shogun of Wano. That, oh yeah, Orochi's also an issue that we gotta deal with. I forgot about him. Orochi needs to either die or be knocked off of his throne. I am personally on the opinion that Orochi needs to die for what he did to Odin. Just straight up. But that is going to be it for the chapter review. It was quick. I think I got the review itself done in like 6 minutes. The rest of it's just been kind of me rambling. Maybe it was 9 minutes, wasn't it? But whatever. Let me know your thoughts on the chapter down below in the comments. If you liked the review or the coloring that I'm doing as we speak, I should be finishing up now. Hit a like. If you're new here, press subscribe. So you get notified next time I put one of these out. Make sure you ring the bell. Also, before I go, there's one thing I forgot to mention during the actual chapter and throwing out possibilities. Why the fuck does Kid not just slap a North and South on Big Mom herself and have her rip herself apart through the magnetic force? Like, oh no, it wouldn't be North and South, it would be North and North. Throw a North and a North on her, and then a South and a South on her back, so her front and back is connected, but her, like, top and bottom are repelling each other, so it rips her apart. Like, the closer you go they would be, the more violent the reaction. I don't get why he didn't do that. He straight up was able to slap her in the face. I think it would just be cute for a Kid to do that. Just murder Big Mom. But yeah, until next time, stay safe, have fun, and read more manga. Okay, guys. Bye.
Fuck off.